Welcome back. We are here with Derek from EventPin. Derek, how are you?
Doing good today. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm very excited to explore your platform. I feel like we align very closely with what we're building as well. So thank you so much for coming on.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. So can you talk about the benefits of EventPin for people that are looking to host their own events?
Yeah, really, it comes down to the ability to put your events in front of other people as fast as possible in a great platform. A lot of the platforms out there right now, they're really trying to get you to spend more money in marketing. So they don't really want you to be found. What we want is you to be found. So once you're on the platform, we make it easy for everybody to find things. And you might be on there for one thing, but you stay for other things. So if I'm on there and I'm looking for a good car show to go to, once I'm on there, I might say, hey, we're out hungry. Let's go find a food truck. That'd be cool to stop at. So you end up just kind of bouncing around and finding different things that you're interested in, and people can start following you, but it's pseudo social. So we don't want people to communicate on there. We don't want the nastiness that you kind of get with social media right now. It's really about just when you choose to, you get on there and you find some stuff. So as a business, I want to be represented in a lot of different places. And if I'm on EventPin, all I have to do is make sure my events are on there, make sure they're present, make sure they can be found, and eventually we'll get that trickle in performance.
And you talked about ease of use. Can you talk about why ease of use is so important for what you guys are building?
Yeah, I mean, right now, a lot of things, everybody's spoon feeding everybody, and there's some really abusive marketing platforms out there where they're going to hit you 8 times per day with an email just because you hit their website, or they're going to throw a bunch of advertisements, or like if you get on social media right now, like every third or fourth post is something that you actually were like, hey, I'm interested, and everything else is like, oh, you might be interested in this. Well, I'm not interested in that. I want to see what I want to see when I want to see it. And that's why it's important for us to build a platform the way that we're building it. You choose when you want to get on, you choose what you see. We don't have any algorithms. We eventually might get into suggestions where you can opt in. But right now, it's all about your control, your ease of use. You get on there, you find it fast. And for that, we have staying power. Once you're on there, we're not serving you a bunch of noise. All the noise is gone. You're on there, you're finding exactly what you want, and you might stumble across other things that are like, that would be cool to check out. I've done that a few times and it works out pretty well. Sometimes you get the bust every now and then, but it's worth checking out.
Yeah, and I think especially nowadays, like you mentioned with the ads and with all these platforms just bombarding you with garbage, consumers are sick of the bullshit. They're sick of having to jump through hoops. They're sick of having to watch an ad to get something. They want it. And all these companies, they prey on them not having an option.
Well, if you take a look at Facebook, right? Facebook, all their entire marketing platform system is on impressions. And if I can deliver to you as many impressions as I can, which is why you only see one thing of interest every 4 posts, they're making money off of that. So you're their cash cow. And the amount of money that they make off of you is going to end up being more money than you would be willing to pay for their platform to be ad free, which is why they don't even offer it as an option. And you're going to see that across a ton of different places. And like with our platform, we don't even report to third party advertising services to allow ads to follow you from place to place like just about everybody does. And to me, that's super annoying. And everybody talks about, oh, I was talking with my friend and my phone was listening and now I'm seeing ads all over the place for this. People should be mindful of that. And we want to build a platform where people can go and they don't have to worry about it. They know when they get on their platform that they're here, they're doing what they need to do. When they're done, that's the end of it. They're not getting tracked all over the place. And we're hoping that consumers will educate themselves and they will respect the companies that choose to use us. And I'm hoping there's going to be some companies that are like, this is the way to go. We're going to use them, maybe even use them exclusively because we respect our customers, we respect their privacy, their data, and we want to do the best thing for them.
And can you kind of dive deeper into why you guys decided not to data mine your users for EventPin?
Honestly, everything just comes down to what would I want in a platform. I was taken a look at some car shows and stuff, and you have your general places to go to. Everybody goes to social media first and foremost, and for me it was getting hard to find things, or you'd lose track of it, or the algorithm would say, oh, you saw this, so we're not going to show you this again. And it was incredibly hard to re-find things that I saw that I was interested, but if I don't act on it I can't find it again. And I was like, let me piece together, like, what are all the things that work? What are the things that don't? And as a user, what are things that I would respect? And for me, I love my sports teams, but they barrage me with so much nonsense. Like, I'm already a season ticket holder, and now you're sending me emails about becoming a season ticket holder. I already am. Leave me alone. So they lose me as an audience on social, they lose me as an audience on email, but it's like I still want to know about when they do cool things, when you can go meet the players and get autographs for the kids and things like that. I still want to know, but it's not worth it for me to be following their email and just getting annoyed, and it makes me not like the team, and I don't like that. So for me, we build a platform that is something that people could get around that and still feel connected and know when things are going on without having to go through the punishment of abusive marketing.
And can you talk about why you guys decided to go with a map-based search system versus others?
Yeah, definitely. I think location is kind of the first and foremost of where your search begins. Everybody says, within X amount of miles from me. Well, if I'm not in downtown Toledo, but I want to check out something in downtown Toledo, X miles from me isn't great, because then it starts, I got to go to the east to go to downtown Toledo, but it's going to start looking in the west. And if I give it a zip code and it says, give me 5 miles of this zip code. Well, 5 miles of the zip code where? It's not a circle. We're talking about a radius, and you're dropping this point in a specific area that I don't even know where it is. You're not disclosing that to me. So it makes the experience really clunky. Where in this instance, if you're zooming in using a map on a specific geographical area, you know exactly what you're looking at. You know what the boundaries are. There's no guesswork, and you move it around when you want. And like, that's the beautiful thing of it. If I see some stuff that I don't like, or I want to, what's a couple streets over, I have that granular control. All these other systems, you don't have the control to say, well, let's take a look at, 2 blocks over this way, 3 blocks over that way. You don't have that. What if I want to scroll all the way down to Columbus and just see what's going on? Any other system, in my experience, is just cumbersome to be able to do that. Like, Columbus is huge, right? Where in Columbus would you be looking if you say, find me Columbus? I don't know the zip codes down there. I can't use that. I would have to use the city. And you're going to tell me the centermost point of the city, but the city's not a circle. I know I'm speaking in circles here, but I mean, it's the same concept. It's just the control and knowing exactly what the parameter is.
Where do you think EventPin is going to be in 5 years?
In 5 years, I hope we're in a lot of major cities. I hope we're being used regularly. I'd like to get into, making ticketing systems easier for other people. I know people use other, we'll call them competing platforms, even though we don't have the same major scope. We're not a ticketing platform. We are discovery first. But I'd like to be able to assist people in that and figure out a way to offer some services cheaper than what's currently out there. And we got to do a little R&D. We got to see where the costs are incurred. But it's all about helping people get out there. It's about helping people with the services that they need. I think it'd be really cool to have a list of vendors. So if I'm planning an event, we have a list of vendors on there within a specific service area. And as you add your event, do you have these services? Yes, no. And we say these are the recommended people in the area. I think that'd be cool. There's a lot of things we can piggyback off of as we build the platform out and we get wider adoption, that I think could help people. And that's really what we're about. We want to help people. I have a problem finding car shows, and I wanted to help myself. And using that same thing, I want to help other people find things that are important to them.
Well, I think that's the greatest thing because when you are talking to your consumers and your customers, you can relate to them. You're like, guys, I made this for myself. Like, I made this for me because I had a problem. So I know what you guys are going through. You didn't just make the app because you wanted to make money. You're like, hey guys, I have a problem. I want to solve it for myself, and I can solve it for everyone else that's struggling with the exact same thing.
It's funny you say that, because Uber kind of started in the same thing. If you watch any of the Uber documentaries, it was just a bunch of guys that wanted to get like cheap car service to different places. and they solved the problem for themselves, and then they expanded it out to be able to offer it to other people. And it's no different now. They make money hand over fist and whatnot, but it's not always about that. Sometimes it's about the greater good and helping people. I volunteer coach some hockey, so I'm always out there trying to find out what's next, where can we help people.
Yeah, and on that point, you are a big hockey fan. You've played hockey for a long time. How did your experience in hockey translate into starting a business?
A lot of it is about management. So, when you're coaching a team, you're managing your players, making sure they have the right expectations, especially going into a new season, making sure that, especially with the younger kids, that they're ready to be coached, because not every kid is ready to be coached. But when you're building a team for a startup, it's the same thing. Give everybody the right expectations going into it so everybody knows what to expect. If you're not performing, we got to talk about it. And it's all about building the team, creating a nice diverse team that has expertise in different areas, specifically the ones that you're not good at, and then just kind of pushing everybody forward, making sure everybody stays on track for a common goal and getting the win.
Yeah, I think you hit right on at the power of being able to delegate, right? Like in sports, you're like, if you play defense, you're not trying to run up on offense, trying to play offense. You kind of play your own position. And I think business is the exact same thing. And I think the business owners that are able to delegate properly, you see how successful they can become.
Oh yeah, well, I don't want to do everything. I'm not good at everything. There's, a handful of things I'm pretty good at, but I'm not good at a lot of things. And I need to surround myself with the right people. It's like a team. Where you're deficient and you want other players to be stronger in that position. And in some regards, you need to have some people that can back you up. So, if I'm playing defense and I need to go get the puck down low, I've got a forward that comes back and plays defense for me while I'm pinching. No different in business.
Absolutely. I have two more questions for you. If you could have dinner with two people, one person from the past and one person from the present, who would it be and why?
Oh man, that's a good one. Uh, you put me on the spot on that. From the past, man, it might have been Chris Cornell. Like I always wanted to see a Chris Cornell show, and that his last show in Detroit, I uh, I wanted to go to it, and I was just like, it's not the right time. I don't have the money. I was making all these excuses, and that was the last show. But he was an incredible singer, all the different octaves, and he just like what it was it like to be Chris Cornell. I vision him as like just a superpower singer. I mean, I know we've had a lot of great singers in our day. Um, Kurt Cobain, he was really really good. Uh, Chester Bennington is great. We've lost a lot of ones, but to be able to sit down and just kind of pick their brain, like, where did you get to where you are, and how did you develop this, and tell me about your experience. They got to travel the world, experience things that a lot of people otherwise don't get to do. So, I think I think Chris Cornell would be. I was a big fan of his. And then for the present, maybe Steve Eiserman, primarily because I was a big fan of his from when he was a player, but also, he's rebuilding the team right now. It's a team that I watch pretty much every night that they play. You know, it's been hard to be a Detroit fan, not only, the Red Wings, but also the Lions, Tigers. We've had our tough years, but, trying to see what he sees in players and how he builds the team and his strategy going into it, because it's no different than in business. There's a lot of strategy that goes into it, and I think as sports fans, we don't get the privilege to understand the moves that are made and the longer term plan that's going on. Everybody sees a transaction that's made and they question it, and they're like, oh, this is just the Iser plan. And it's like there might be something more behind it than what you see. And there's so many different things you have to consider: long term contracts, salary cap, bonuses, that player synergy. Are these players even going to work well together? That I think it'd be awesome to just be able to have a conversation with them and kind of pick it apart and see how it all works. I think that's very interesting.
I think you can relate a lot of that to business.
Yeah.
How people look at a big business and they're like, oh, they got lucky or they're so successful, but you don't know all the backroom conversations that are going on, all the contracts that have been signed that have not been announced yet, all of these things are moving pieces for you to see a business that's running properly.
You have
And
a 5-year plan and people hyper focus on 1 week. And it's like it's not about the week, it's about the long term. You have to be sustainable.
absolutely. I have one more question for you. Why did you decide to partner with us and offer the discounts?
Well, I think there's a lot of synergy with us. I see you guys out there, you're hustling and you're trying to help people out. You're getting everybody discounts for things that they're probably already going to be using already in the first place. And I know when I spend money, I like to save money while I'm spending it. Sometimes it's money that you don't want to have to be spending, but you do. So if you can get a little bit of a kickback on that, that's great. And it aligns with what we're trying to do, which is help people out. So if we can help people out while you're helping people out, everybody's helping out together. One of my good friends says, "Rising tides raise all ships." I really like that saying. I wish more people kind of stood by it, where the overall objective is find how many people you can work together with to really create a better environment for people, because I think we all deserve it.
Absolutely. It's all about creating a win-win for everyone involved. Like if we can make money and we help you make money, well, that means we're all probably going to succeed together. And
Exactly.
that's more fun, right? Like if we take 100 people to the top or 1,000 people to the top, that's a lot better than me and my business partner up there by ourselves.
I understand competition in business, I really do. But at the same point, there's a lot of customers out there for a lot of people, and everybody always looks at like how much market share do you have? And for me, I'm looking at it like, is it a sustainable business? Are we profiting? Are we paying our employees? Like if I'm paying my employees and other people are getting their employees paid for, let's go have fun. Like I want to get to a point where we can all just get along, have fun, and just enjoy life. Life's already hard to begin with. There's no point to make it harder for anyone else. Uh, my competitors are out there, trying to shut me down. I'm not trying to shut them down. I just want a little piece of their pie, and we can all do it together. And I think that's important. Everybody should be able to enjoy what they have going on, and it's a step in the right direction.
Those are the questions I have for you. How can people find you guys? And what is one thing you want to leave people with?
Well, you can definitely get on EventPin by downloading the app. It's in the app stores right now. We also have a web version where you can access it right through the website. So you can go to eventpin.com. You can see all the navigation there. You can also follow us on the traditional social medias, Facebook, Instagram. I think we have a LinkedIn too. I don't pay too much attention to any of that though. What was the next question?
What would you like to leave people with?
What do I want to leave them with? Positivity. I want people to be more excited about being alive. We you end up losing some really good people in your life when you don't realize it, and you always think back like, man, I wish I did more. Or especially the guys, I always think about the guys that we lose that did a lot for the community, and how much of a hit and a hurt it is, and it's hard to fill those shoes. And if we had more people stomping in those directions, that'd be less shoes that we have to fill. It's about making an impact. It's about doing good stuff for people. I tell my kids every day when we wake up in the morning, I'm like, go do good things. That's kind of like our motto. Go do something good today. So I think that's what I want to leave people with. We're out there trying to make a difference. Go do something good.
I love it, Derek. Well, thank you so much for coming on.